Yeah, so that'll be a link for sure.
Yeah, and medication can have such an impact. I was reading about birth control and the effect that it can have on attraction to your partner. And it was a study. Do you know Dr. Sarah Hill? Do you know of her?
No.
Well, she's from America, and she's a psychologist and sexologist as well.
Cool.
And it was a study that she had done through some app, and I forget the intricacies of how it was done, but it was about being on birth control and attraction. And the conclusion of the study was the sample, and it was a female sample of women who met their partners on birth control, who then became off birth control, say months or years into the relationship. And it was a not non-significant amount that hop off birth control and see a massive drop in attraction to partner.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that study before, but that's fascinating.
Yeah, if I get a hold of it, I'll
flick it through.
I'll to you.
Have a little read.
Yeah, and I was thinking about to myself, because things like birth control or the pill is so contrary to what we've been saying. In my experience, it's so casual. People are like, yeah, I'm on the pill. Or like, yeah, like I'm on birth control.
Oh my God, I'm in so two minds about birth control, because it's absolutely...
I don't know much about it.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Like, access to birth control is absolutely important. It's a fundamental human basic right for women to be able to have access to birth control.
Yep.
The thing with birth control is that, I mean, in my experience at least, is that it's so different for every woman. So, or people with vulvas. It's like anyone, like what works for one person won't for another person. And I've had my own journey with birth control. I'm not on birth control because for me personally, it doesn't work for me. Like, it affects my hormones and my mental health too much. Like, it makes me feel really depressed, and I feel crazy when I'm on it.
Right.
And then I go off it, and then I'm like, oh, I feel normal again.
That's interesting.
So interesting. So I think it's great that we have access to it, and that we now have the capacity to determine our own bodies, really, and what happens to our bodies. But we're just put on them so early. Like, the first time I went on the pill, I was 14. So 14. And that's my experience with most female friends, is that you just get to an age, or parents are worried that their kids are going to start having sex, so like, just go on the pill, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like a Band-Aid.
Yeah,
They just cover it. Like, oh, just
go on the pill. Or it might be, you know, so many of my friends started on the pill because of things like acne or pimples or hormone regulation. So you go on it for other reasons that aren't only just to not get pregnant. And then you end up staying on it for like your entire life. And it's like, of course it's going to affect you. Like,
I know girls who have been on it for years and years. I remember they said that, like, yeah, I've been on the pill for 4 years.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? Like, you've been on, like, aside from its purpose, you've been on a medication.
Yeah. That stops you from doing the thing you're supposed to be doing, like bleeding, you know? It's another thing. This is my personal belief. Again, I'm so pro contraception. Yeah. But I think that if women are like put on birth control, and then we're not taught what our normal bodily cycles are, you don't like menstruate, it's what we're meant to do, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's natural.
It's natural. It's just a part of it. It's an unfortunate part, because having a period every month like fucking sucks. But it's just like a part of, you know, it's a beautiful part of the female existence and expression. And we're also taught to be ashamed of it.
Yes.
But yeah, I have friends that haven't bled in like 10 years. I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, it does seem crazy. And obviously I don't have any sort of personal experience in the matter, but the concept does seem crazy that you're putting an artificial blocker on such a natural process that it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, but the conclusion that Dr. Hill came to, she goes, and it was sort of I saw the funny side of it. She goes, if you're thinking about marrying and you're on birth control, like, get off it.
Get off birth control.
And she was like, jokes, but like, not jokes.
Jokes, but just see. Because you might end up hating them.
Well, yeah, because, and you know, obviously.
I wonder why, if that's like a drop of a certain type of hormone or estrogen, or I wonder what that would be.
I'm not sure of the science behind birth control. I don't know what it raises and lowers, etc.
It's normally like estrogen and progesterone, which are two hormones that we produce during our cycle.
Yeah, and it was a comparative study to women who were off birth control from day one, and then people who were on it the whole way through, and this group. And it wasn't that you disliked them or hated them, but the physical attraction,
like arousal and desire,
it basically dropped to zero.
Sex drive goes down,
but not generally to that person. It was like, no, they were saying like, I no longer find this person attractive, and
so
just as they hop off birth control.
That's so fascinating. I want to read more about that.
It was super interesting. I sort of had a browse of this doctor's catalogue, and she's very well versed. And I was like, it was quite a large study. And I was like, that's interesting because, out of all the sex ed, that is almost the most normalized.
Yeah,
is just hopping on the pill.
Yeah, it's also interesting because, like, from a medical lens, you look at who owns and controls and produces most of the contraception that we have access to. So the pill, for example, it's owned by like one or two big companies, and they're like pharmaceutical companies. It's like big pharma kind of vibes.
Don't get me on the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, they're also controlled by men. So it's actually it's I don't know. I find it quite a sexist industry because if it's taken only by women, but it's controlled by like one or two giant companies that make billions of dollars a year owned by men. It's not. Literally, it's not in the best interest of women. It's in the best interest of men making money from us. So, I don't know. I find the whole thing really interesting when you actually look at who's producing these.
Maybe you'd be able to tell me more. I swear I saw the other day an article, and it may have just been a nothing article, but I swear I saw something regarding some kind of advancement on a birth control pill medication for men.
I was about to bring this up. I'm glad you brought it up.
I'm sure you'd be able to tell me more because I didn't read the article, but I saw it and I was like, that's interesting.
They've been doing trials. I'm not sure if it's been passed yet. The annoying thing is, like, it should have been passed a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much pushback about men being on birth control because they're like, whoa, but we get side effects. It's like, yeah, we've been getting side effects this whole fucking time. Women have been having side effects. It's the exact same for you as it is for us, babes. There's a lot of pushback about men not wanting these side effects. I have a question for you because there's one where being on maybe it's just a vasectomy. I can't actually remember what it is, but it's like if you just like take away the ability to have an orgasm as a guy, so ejaculation, not orgasm, but then you just wouldn't get, like, would you personally give that up if you could still have an orgasm but couldn't ejaculate? Because a big thing that I've had with conversations of men is like, we don't want that taken away.
So just so I'm clear on the question, because I'll have a go. But
it's like shooting blanks, but you just don't.
Yeah. So the I suppose the feeling is the same. Is that what, like, the sensation is the same?
So you can have an orgasm. Fun sex ed fact, by the way. You can have an orgasm. Orgasm and ejaculation are actually different for guys. So you can actually have an orgasm without ejaculating.
I didn't know they were different.
Yeah.
No.
So you can have an orgasm as a guy without ejaculating.
Right. Okay.
But for a lot of people, the most common response is that they happen simultaneously. So when you ejaculate, you orgasm.
So so that's what I was about to say. So when you do ejaculate, is that an orgasm?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have that bigger issue with that, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because getting someone pregnant is probably my worst fear. So I'm okay with that.
Totally.
But I'd ask questions, but I don't have like some sort of knee-jerk pushback. No, I'd be open to it for sure.
Yeah, because some of my guy friends, I'm like, hey, it's like I've never personally ejaculated as a guy, so I don't know the feeling. I don't know what it feels and means. Everyone's different, but a lot of my guy friends are like, nah, I just couldn't give it up, and I'm like, that's fair enough.
Yeah, if it was, because a vasectomy is obviously permanent. If it was non-permanent,
yeah, it's reversible though. You could have like 4 vasectomies and reverse it back.
Yeah, that seems like a process.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not great. You're still snipping.
Something sort of going wrong there. I don't know, I imagine. Yeah, if this was like a pill that you had and it was like for I don't know how long the lasting is, say it was like a week, then yeah, I would have no problem with that.
Or it was something that you had to take every day the same way that like women do, for example.
Yeah, I would. I don't know if I would have it, but I wouldn't have a pushback to it being a thing.
I think it should just be... Yeah, it's this like the classic take the bullets out of a gun.
That was what I saw. That was the title of the article that I saw.
Instead of wearing protective armor. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like like instead of wearing a bulletproof vest, why don't you just take the bullets out of the gun?
Just take the bullets out of the gun.
And I was like, well, yeah, that's a fair point.
Right?
I sort of,
you can't really argue with that, can you?
Like, okay. And I was like, it does make sense.
It makes so much sense. I would love to see further progression and more research.